Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is supposed to be an absolute banger of Terran versus Protoss. We're in the top right hand corner. Playing with the blue Protoss pieces, we have none other than Creator and his opponent down in the bottom left with the red Terran SCVs. He goes by the name of Cure. Woo! I did it! I most definitely will not edit out the first 4 attempts or so of me doing the intro of this particular cast. Anyways, this was the first time. No, I did not even have to retry it. I did it perfectly the first time around. Looks like we've got a Stalker going into a sentry here for Protoss. And then interestingly enough, Creator is going straight into a Robo facility. This has become a little bit more popular as of late. Historically though, in this particular matchup, it is always either a Twilight Council or a Stargate. Twilight Council probably 7 out of 10 games. Stargate maybe 3 out of 10 games. This, however, is a little bit different. Yeah, we're gonna go straight into a Robo facility. We've seen some proxies as well, but lately, Protoss players have been getting really comfortable playing macro against literally everybody. Well, maybe not so much in Protoss versus Protoss, but at least against Terran and also against Zerg, they have been enjoying a nice time of prosperity. The only problem here for our Protoss hero is that, well, he's going up against Cure, who is widely considered to be one of the very best TVP players in the world. For some time, actually, I truly believed he, well, had the very best Terran versus Protoss on the planet. So we'll have to see exactly what ends up going down in this particular match. So like I said, I heard that this series is a banger. It's a best of 3, by the way. I did not quite update the scoreboard there, but Widowmine drop is sneaking out, despite the fact that we've had these hallucinated phoenixes flying around. Creator might be able to pick up, though, on the fact that there is something missing inside of the main base. He does already have a bunch of units over here inside of that natural expansion. There's also a pylon cleverly positioned, just so he gets the heads up a little bit quicker. Very fast reaction speed, still though. This is going to be annoying. Couple of probes will get sacrificed. Congratulations, it's a promotion. Your promotion is death, but you keep the rest of the tribe safe, and in the meantime, okay. The medevac drop does go down. So great start right here for Creator. 3 Widowmines and medevac for 3 probes is exactly what you want, and to celebrate, we build a 3rd Nexus. Ooh, straight into the Twilight Council and charge on the back of it, okay. So obviously one of the scary things that Terrans can do early on is those siege tank based attacks, right? And obviously, when you delay your Twilight Council and you don't go straight into Blink, you also can't go straight into Charge on the back of it. And Charge is a very important upgrade if you want to defend early on against a lot of Terran aggression. So that'll likely be what Creator is getting it for. Quick Robo Bay on the back of this as well. So we're effectively skipping a lot of the early game aggression that normally Protoss players go for. No Phoenixes, no Blink Stalker, none of that. We are just playing straight StarCraft 2. Okay. Well, Cure is making an extra barracks right now. It's already got a tech lab, so this one will very likely be researching combat shields here in just a moment. Stimpack coming up. +1 infantry weapons also has begun over here inside of the engineering bay behind the natural mineral line. Okay, so Cure is lining up a nice timing attack, but obviously, well, he will have charge long done before that upgrade here is done. Creator, that is. He will be able to finish up that upgrade a long time before Cure is going to be able to really go across the map. Raven going around here too. Obviously, there's no Phoenixes to shut it down, no Blink Stalker to try and chase it away. So you can definitely just park it in dead space, wait for some energy, occasionally go in, drop an auto turret or 2, and then back off. Against the single shield battery though, yeah, you're gonna need to have multiple auto turrets just to be a real nuisance. So I have to keep an eye out on this Raven. This is one of those units that tends to just chip away at the Protoss economy over time. You don't really have to do anything with it. You just occasionally have to remember, oh, by the way, I have myself a Raven. As long as you think about it every 200 seconds or so. You drop a bunch of auto turrets, you go back. This is one of those things that can put on a lot of pressure. Oh, don't lose it. See, that would have died if this was against Blink Stalker, but not the case this time around. It's actually interesting though, because I've seen quite a few of these rake in like up to like 20, 25 worker kills throughout a game, which is pretty wild. With this type of start, Creator is not likely to go into, well, a Stargate possibly ever. Maybe if this goes the distance, right? Like if it's a long game, you may go into a Stargate, but it's just one of those things. You just occasionally drop in, send a couple auto turrets to the ground, and kill a few probes. And already it's forced out a shield battery. Well, RoboBay is going to be able to finish up the ranged upgrade for the Colossus here in just a moment. We have another attempted Widowmine drop. Third command center, though, in the meantime, is also going down towards the low ground. And let's see. Good positioning, by the way, on that pylon over here, too. Although I think since it's building, he didn't quite have that within range yet. Couple more probes. Sacrificial. Wow. Look at this guy. He was ready for death. Oh, come on. Choose him. Choose him. No, man. All right. Probius was ready to valiantly sacrifice himself, but then decided, you know what? Screw that. Shut down my friend instead. All right, fourth Nexus here. Up front and center. Blink is going to finish up. We have a High Templar switch as well coming up. And Curious decided that he's not even going to try and go across the map, because with the way that this early game has been going for him, you're just not likely to achieve much. He's lost a little bit as well to that Warp Prism drop. So apparently we are down a tech lab here too. We saw that one of the SCVs went down inside of the corner of the main base because of a, well, I think it was an Immortal shooting away at it, and that missile turret had to be finished by one of his colleagues. All of this, though, is to say that it's very difficult for Terran to commit to a big attack, because if you fight right now, what in the world are you going to face? Well, it's going to be a ranged Colossi, it's going to be charge lots, it's going to be a lot of sentries. Creator is more than ready to fight this Terran army head on, so usually this is the type of opener where Terran wants to go for an attack, but this is one of those exceptions. When you go against a robo facility first, you end up against a much more powerful, I guess we can call this an early mid-game type of army. Alright, now with the third command center secured though, Ghost Academy is coming up. Very significant power spike, of course, for Terran. But ultimately what we have here is both players being very kind to one another, you know? Like, no, you attack first. Okay, fine, I'll attack you with like a Medevac and a couple of Widowmines, and then you attack me, and we go back and forth and back and forth. But ultimately, we have spent the first 9 minutes of this game just building up economies. Both players perfectly at 69 workers. Nice! Sorry, that was an absolute necessity. They've decided to stop producing probes and SCVs right at that point in time. 2-2 has already begun. I'm assuming we may even see a second fort here in a moment here too for Creator. Fifth Nexus, though, is taking priority. Yeah, and this is the StarCraft equivalent of like 10 minutes no rush. Cure did not, well, completely follow the advice, and I guess Creator also sent in a Prism. But this is essentially Command and Conquer back in the 90s. Although I think it was more like a 20-minute no rush, right? Kind of insane, actually. You could do an entire best of 3 series of StarCraft 2 in 20 minutes. Including the, well, making of the lobby and everything else. Alright, Creator is looking for a real angle now, though, because effectively both players have maxed out without really losing anything. Yeah, and the positioning here is very crisp. So this is all on purpose, right? This way the Zealots will waste a charge coming in from that site, and then obviously they will derp out against one another. So on purpose here are these Widowmines positioned like that, and do we have a bunker like this? All of this is actually pretty much the exact setup that you would need against a Zealot run by. Okay, so Dark Shrine on the back of this, a Robo Facility on the back of this, Storm coming up, second Forge indeed was produced. Another Command Center coming up, forward a Command Center here also building. Cure is gonna go straight into a 6th. Okay, we do have a Fusion Core building inside of the main base too. That is an exceptionally fast Fusion Core, considering the way that this game has gone. This is looking like a, yeah, just a straight macro game. Neither player really committing to anything. Well, apparently Kira has just remembered that he still has a Raven. This is what I was talking about. Not getting that many kills yet, but putting in a bit of work. Zealot run by in the meantime on the other side of the map. Really, though, nothing to write home about at all. Elucidated Phoenix at the front. We'll see that Creator is ready to face this macro game head on. Okay. Or Creator? Cure, rather, is ready to face this macro game head on. Stargate coming up. Dude, this is all so quick. Like, advanced ballistics, researching in a macro game at 12 minutes, and then already a Stargate transition, too. 4 command centers on the production tab. This is the biggest macro game of TVP I've seen in a while. It's so funny, too, because I've been casting so many, like, say, for example, Hero versus Clem games. Or, say, for example, Beyond versus Max Specs. Those guys are all so aggressive that you sometimes believe that that may be the standard for everybody out there. But this is effectively just both players trying to go straight to the late game. We've skipped the early game. We've done a little bit of the mid game, but we are going straight to the late game. Look at that fleet beacon coming up. After the fusion core, we already have the medevac energy upgrade going up. These are luxury upgrades. More command centers are building. What the heck? We're building command centers for the next game. He's gonna have a ton of orbital commands here. It's kind of funny, actually, because I've been casting Cure a bunch in Terran versus Zerg. And in that matchup, as soon as he loses SCVs, he doesn't replace them. Which I find very questionable. I've now seen him do that in, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 games recently. I wonder if in this matchup he's gonna make that choice. Now, interestingly enough, against Zerg, he does it when he has like 3 orbital commands. In this instance, he's gonna have like 12 in like, I don't know, a couple minutes time from now. So at that point, you actually want to start getting rid of some of your own SCVs. So maybe you have to salvage the bunker, man. Just lose a bunch of your troops, because those SCVs are gonna be taking up a lot of supply. Kyoto's still sitting at 69. Creator has skyrocketed all the way to 90 workers. Ay. We have the observer speed upgrade, the war prism speed upgrade. Carriers are coming up, +1 shields because +3 attack is already done. Are we gonna draw a line in the sand and then say, yo, you mine that side, I mine this side, and we'll just sort of let each other do that? Because that is the vibe I'm getting so far. Oh, well, that storm could have been positioned a little bit better. This is the biggest damage in this game so far. Before this, I think it was the medevac sniper. Immortal goes down? Okay. Ultimately, though, this doesn't even really scratch the bank yet, right? I mean, we have so much money. Gravitic boosters is done. Gravitic drive coming up next. Big fights now, though, happening on the other side of the map here, too. That's exactly where Creator has been parking his army. We have an invisible man joined by a bunch of carriers. So the only thing we're really missing right now would be tactical nukes. And potentially a mothership, but generally speaking, those are not really commonly played in this particular matchup. Because of the way that Vikings behave in particular, like Sky Terran is very, very scary. You're already making a transition in that direction. And speaking of Sky Terran, he's already got +3 air attacks halfway done, 15 minutes in. This wasn't even him rushing it. We're already building mass missile turret in the middle of the map. Okay. So Creator is in one of those spots right now where he's got a lot more supply dedicated to economy. Usually that means that the Protoss has to be trading. Cure is exactly because of that, setting up a bunch of missile turrets in the middle of the map, making it difficult for this Protoss army to really march in. He's also obviously denying this base over here. We have a lot of Liberators, by the way. It's gonna go up to 10 here in just a moment. 5 starports. Dang. We're already at 5 starports. Cure is, well, preparing for the next generation of Terran flying units. I hate to break it to you, Marines, but as soon as you die, you're gonna get replaced by a ship that flies. Yeah. It's just a matter of supply loss now. This expansion's being denied, though, repeatedly, which is really, really well done. Creator now has marched his entire army all the way around. Obviously, at this rate, this Protoss army is not moving very quick. Viking count at 14, Liberators at 10. Apparently, that's where we're gonna halt. And with 10 Liberators, you can't really make a ground army work. So Cure is controlling the ground absolutely brilliantly. Obviously, Dark Templar might still be able to put in some work. Maybe a Zealot run-by can still put in a bit of damage too. But across the board, it'll be very difficult right now for Protoss to get a bit of value out of this army. So we may just actually end up in full Sky Wars. Full Sky Toss going up against full Sky Terran. And I think that will suit Cure just fine. He should really start up some of these upgrades, though, for his mechanical units. Super useful. We already have, yeah, +1 armor researching here for Creator. I think Cure should be doing similar things, too. Obviously, for both players, though, their flying troops are a lot slower. At least compared to Marine Marauder Medevac and then, well, Zealot run-bys too. Sorry about that. You guys have just been left behind. 17 probes. I don't think Creator is going to be too disappointed by their loss. And likewise, all of those Marines and Marauders going down, they're immediately replaced with a bunch of Vikings. Although, apparently we're also remaking 4 Marines. Ultimately, though, they're being replaced with Ghosts and more Vikings. Okay. So, who's got the bigger army? Near identical. Who's got the more expensive army? Well, without a shadow of a doubt, that is Creator. It's just that it's difficult for him to find value here. Tempests are added into the mix. I think Tempest makes a lot of sense. Going for the damage upgrade to buildings would also be very handy. There's a couple of upgrades that he can still get inside of the fleet beacon. One of them doubles the damage that Tempests deal against structures, which is absolutely massive. There it is. Tectonic destabilizers. Very handy, especially in these turtley spots. Generally, though, for the Tempest to be able to shoot at its maximum distance, you need to provide it vision. A couple ways in which you can do so as Protoss. Either you, well, move units within range, or most commonly, we see oracles, yep, to throw a revelation, which will give you 20 seconds of vision of the units that are revealed. And that counts for structures as well. They shoot even more, though. They have even more range in air-to-air. But at this point, it's all a little bit messy. Okay. Missile turrets being remade. Base in the far top left, already acquired here by Cure. Additional Stargates coming up as well. So we're going up to 5 Stargates. 5 Stargates versus 5 Starports. Neither player, though, really committing to anything. We're mostly just tiptoeing around each other the entire time. There's those additional mechanical upgrades. I think they're absolutely critical here. Especially against carriers, because carriers obviously have these little interceptor ships that they deploy. Every single carrier carries 8, and every single interceptor ship shoots twice. So they have a little missile that they shoot from both the left and also the right of the little ship. And every single one of those shots gets reduced by 1 damage. The more armor upgrades you have. So you can imagine that it's basically minus 16 damage per carrier that's attacking you. And there's a hell of a lot of carriers up in the air. So more armories equals better. Or more armory upgrades, rather. Equals better here for Terran. We're even now going into the speed upgrade for Void Rays. We're making it before a Void Ray is out, although apparently to celebrate this, we are building a single one. Here now building the command center at the bottom right-hand corner of the map too. Creator, in the meantime, has lowered all of his supply. At least that he's caught up in workers. It's now half of what it once used to be. Now, would you look at that? Another Ghost Academy is coming up, and the first one is researching a tactical nuke. This is a big macro game, dude. We're 20 minutes in. Like, the losses here, I mean, they are there, but it's really not that extreme. I think it might be worth, though, doing, like, big Dark Templar run-bys and all that. That is something that we see max specs do all the time at this stage in the game. Creator is effectively, as we have a tactical nuke flying across. Creator is effectively letting Cure Turtle here. Yeah, this expansion has been denied 17 times already. So interestingly enough, he hasn't actually killed the base, but there has been very little mining. Like about 50 minerals or so lost per mineral field here in total. Completely okay. So this is a contain that Cure is creating on an expansion from the low ground. Anakin, it's over. I've got the low ground. It's really nice. Or I guess Creator is over. I've got the low ground. So honestly, the mining here, yeah. Creator once upon a time had substantially more income. But Cure is playing out the late game masterfully. Creator also only at 36 probes right now, though. We're now fishing for a lucky Purification Nova. Now, interestingly enough, Creator can't even properly see what's underneath that cloud of Vikings. There's 39 Vikings! What do you call a group of Vikings? I have no idea. A school? A murder? I guess it's a murder of a swarm. A raid? I don't know what you would call one of those things, but it is dangerous. And more are being added in together with tactical nukes. Personal cloaking for the Ghost is also coming up. Not really that useful in this matchup, but at this point you may as well. I guess a Viking raid does make a lot of sense, right? Maybe they should get their longboats out. Why would you need a longboat, though, if you can fly? More tactical nukes. So Cure is actually chipping away at this expansion from the low ground. Well, don't nuke your own liberators. That is one way to liberate them, I guess. Well, yeah. He's actually chipping away at this expansion from the low ground, and he's been denying it repeatedly. Creator's mining is actually trash. Like, he hasn't really been mining very much at all. Cure has got how many orbitals? We have 7 orbitals here. Yeah, he's got scans for days. He's not really using it for mule mining so much. He's got a couple of mules here, but he's got a good chunk of cash already in the bank. Okay, finally we have some multi-pronged aggression here from Creator. That is a lot of Vikings, dude. By the way, the Viking is also exactly the reason why we don't commonly see a mothership added into the mix. The thing about Vikings is that they deal bonus damage against mechanical, and it counts, of course, as well when they're on the ground. So, in a way, they kind of function like, as we have another nuke, they kind of function like mass corruptor, except these are corruptors that are also useful in anti-ground. So you can just land them after they're done wiping the floor with all of the flying units. And that's why oftentimes it can be difficult for, well, a Protoss player to play this full Skytles army, and why they certainly don't want to go into a mothership, because this many Vikings just one-shot everything. That's actually a problem here for Cure. He doesn't want to micro these Vikings. He should really just attack move, because if he individually targets units down, he's going to be, yeah, he's going to deal so much over damage. Another tactical nuke, by the way, this time around going up north. There's a handful of probes mining here. Many of these have been alive for 20 minutes. It's a long time for a probe lifespan, or lifespan, rather. 2 more tactical nukes coming up. Guys, I think Cure is absolutely dominating this late game. No, dude, this is like the last unit we need. This is not what we... You guys want to see a Viking, like a raid? A Viking raid absolutely murder a mothership? I think we are just about to witness it. Whew, okay. This is going to be the biggest minus 400 that you've ever seen in your life. In before the mothership wins the game for Creator, and I'm completely wrong. This feels kind of sad, though, because the Liberators are absolutely denying ground, and in the meantime, the Vikings are absolutely denying air. This is where those Terran units are so powerful. There's nothing even really to deal damage to here. This is mostly Cure just flexing his money. Okay. We're just nuking expansions. So obviously, normally you have a group of Marine Marauder medevac, right? Ready to deny bases, but apparently Cure can't really, well, spend the supply count on that. And he's got money for days. So this little ghost here is putting in the work that most of the... Yeah, this is looking extremely dangerous. He's also just continuously removing the fog of war. Oh my god. Go! Did he see it? He didn't see it. Mama was hiding, just barely out of sight. I mean, of course he's mining this base. I don't even know why we're scanning. I'm not sure exactly what he's expecting. Okay. Yeah, he's still struggling though. Keep in mind that Vikings clump up, and like one well-positioned storm and this game is over in favor of Creator. More nukes going towards that base. There's a lot of mining still available here, by the way. Well, that is not how we storm. That was the death of a High Templar. To be fair, in his defense, he was high. So, Cure is continuously denying mining of 2 entire bases, whilst mining out as much as he needs himself. Like, he currently has so many minerals and gas that he can send his kids to college and not even worry about it. He doesn't care. I have no idea if you have to spend any money, though, to go to college over in Korea. But anyways, probably not. Yeah, this is rough. This is starting to be a little bit painful. I think Creator should go and do something, but I'm not exactly sure what his goal is. I think in a lot of matches, he is just being run into by the Terran player with these armies. He's like, yo, that's exactly what I would like to play again against every single time. But in this instance, Cure is saying, yo, I'll just nuke you to death. We rarely see somebody getting nuked to death. Oh god, those Vikings. Bring the SCVs or the mules or whatever, we gotta repair. Oh, suddenly, this is immediately the moment that Creator decides to strike. He's been waiting for one opportunity. Can we get one more storm on those units? That would be amazing. This is a very disjointed engagement, though, because a lot of those, well, carriers didn't show up until a little bit later. Oh, the Tempest and the carriers and the, oh my god. Did he just do it? Keep in mind that, of course, Creator can replenish this way quicker than Cure ever can. Cure has to worry about these production cycles out of his starports. And this was exactly what I was trying to highlight. Vikings are phenomenal. They're basically the only unit you need here. But also, they have one very obvious weakness, and that is that they clump, which can be incredibly nice, but not if you're gonna eat 2 giant storms to the face. Oh my god. Tactical nuke inside of his own main! He is nuking his own main base! That is one of the dumbest strategies I've ever seen. Yeah, let it go off, dude. There he is. I mean, maybe he's gonna kill some stalkers because of it. He also killed his own starport. Vikings, though, are dropping like flies. And this raid is unsuccessful. Creator is now on top of all of the production structures of Cure. And you can have all the minerals and gas in the world, but if you can't produce, what's the use? He's remaking a bunch of barracks now all over the map, trying to make them in positions that the Protoss army is currently not. Creator, though, has spent his bank and he GG's out. Dude, he just GG'd out with nearly 10,000 resources in the bank after being in a basically unlosable position. Oh my god. I don't think that was supposed to be a Creator victory, but hey, he got the job done. The man basically served as a punching bag for about a half hour. Yeah, maybe the first 10 minutes were kind of chill, right? For like the last 20 minutes in that game, though, he was just taking punch to the face after punch to the face. But then apparently he came out swinging. Cure decided to take a little nap there after, well, being hyper-focused for a half hour. And apparently we're gonna maybe do a little bit of cheekiness. No, there's already a Twilight Council building inside of the main base this time around. What a match. Oh no, we are going for a proxy. Okay. That was an insane situation, though. I can't believe Creator managed to pull that off. Like, when I close my eyes, I can already see people posting whiny YouTube comments about Terran being overpowered. And I can already now also see them getting deleted at the same time, dude. Like, that was where the game was headed, though. Right? And I'll be honest with you, I also couldn't really see a solution there to Creator's problems. He was just, well, he didn't hear a bell, I guess. I didn't hear no bell is what Creator said. And he just kept playing. That's crazy. Okay. So, it is going to be Whispers of Gold, and apparently this time around, we are not going for anything macro-focused. This time around, we are building a Dark Shrine at 3 minutes into the game. Excellent. We have got ourselves a robo facility on the other side of the map too. This is the exact polar opposite, though, of the previous match. We go from full Skytos versus full Sky Terran into proxy Dark Templar. I mean, to be fair, right? Pro gamers are human, as Cure has so diligently showed us in the previous match at the end of it. One little slip up and it's, well, all crumbling down. Let's see. Little Marine drop, though, can actually put in a lot of work. You may have to reveal the Dark Templar defensively here. Okay. This is him faking a research, I guess? There's no way we actually mean to go glaives. I'm assuming we're gonna cancel that. Are we not gonna cancel it? I mean, we have a Dark Shrine. We should go. Yeah, he canceled it. Okay. Go! Creator, go! Jeez. It was a little low on gas here. Only just now resaturating it. Dude, that Marine drop just now has bought Cure, and he doesn't even know it, but it's bought him like 45 seconds here. Feels like it's forever. I think 45 seconds is a really long time. Because that's what she said. Anyways, Dark Templar, okay. Shh. Depots are down. Goes into the main base. The other one goes into the natural expansion. No energy available on the low ground one. Okay, he does have energy inside of the main, or sorry, he does have energy over here in like 6 seconds. Can we repair that? I think we can. In the meantime, by the way, there is also damage being done on the other side of the map. This Dark Templar is going to go down. This Liberator, though, killed 5 probes. Matter of fact, drop is still chilling. Yeah, so ultimately this now makes the whole game a bit awkward, because Creator was very committed to that push. And now we find ourselves here, with both players taking an equal amount of damage, and obviously a big investment here into tech that is not that useful as the game progresses. So I'm calling this an advantage here for Cure because of it, although we still have more Dark Templar. Maybe these can actually justify all of this. Raven is here. Of course, a mobile detector. Okay, next is building at the 6 o'clock. There's a little paragraph HTML indicator here for the Wraith. Very useful. And Cure is likely just going to transition now into good old Stimpack Combat Shields +1, right? He doesn't have a lot of gas at this point in time. Obviously forced to make a Raven there is a little expensive. Archon drops are going to continue onwards. Should really go into Stimpack though. We have the money. Nice little bit of damage here actually. These are obviously the Dark Templar from earlier. Ooh, oh, dude! Ah, he got greedy. He got too greedy. Lovely engagement there. Ultimately loses a bit too much. In the meantime, the lip. Ooh, okay. Does not get pwned. I thought the lips were here to get pwned, but not quite the case. Now the Marines in the main base make this extremely messy too. I think we can see that both players are tired after that previous match. Like the previous match. Oh. Ugly. The previous match, honestly very crisp for like the first 10-15 minutes or so. Neither player really dropping the ball. In this particular instance, we have seen a whole bunch of mistakes from both players already. So, Stimpack Combat Shields. Normally they finish up at the same time as infantry weapons level 1. This time it will not be the case, but I mean it's still gonna hit hard. Cure though decides to just go into a good old 3rd command center for now. Creator has already got a 3rd Nexus. Blink coming up. Extra gateways. Dark Templar in the main base here, of course, also extremely good for base defense. She's just hanging out. Dark Templar always stand prepared, huh? It's like a spider in the middle of his whip. Ever seen a spider chill? Just like this Dark Templar, dude. He doesn't do any chilling. Little Viking attempt. In the meantime, in the bottom left. He hasn't actually seen this this proxy, so Cure completely not thinking about the fact that those units must have come from somewhere. Or at the very least, he hasn't dedicated any supply. Ooh! Really? Sorry, I have to go back. Apparently, when you pick up the Marine in time, even if the Dark Templar swing is mid-animation, you can deny the damage? Today I learned. Dang! Jimmy was real quick. What if every single Marine just has like those Reaper boots, you know? They can use it apparently to jump really fast into a medevac, but they choose to just not activate it in combat. That was a quick pickup there. Fourth Nexus coming up. So Creator has decided that at this point the only thing that really makes sense is Terran sitting back. He's seen the third command center. He obviously knows though that it's very late. Cure has to go and do something about this. Yeah, there's really no way. He doesn't know currently about the fourth Nexus, but it's a safe assumption to make. Either it's over here, or it's right over here on the low ground. I think it makes a lot of sense for Cure at the very least to go and test the waters. He needs to keep that Raven alive though. Ooh, the Stalker attack is really lovely. Good blink as well, denying the damage. Oh, apparently Cure does not care. Instant recall. Force fields are good. Is there enough stuff though for Protoss? I'm not convinced. Those Archons would have been extremely nice to have now. The Archons apparently have died. One of them we saw go down. I don't think we noticed the second on the screen. Siege tanks in the back, shelling away at this army. Okay, good movement here by Creator. That prism being extremely useful. Oh, that Immortal just got absolutely massacred. Raven still up in the air too. Yeah, there's just not enough stuff. Cure obtains the victory. And that means we are going to game number 3. And that means that this series comes down to Ultra Love. Another nice, defendable map. No proxies this time around. Adept is going to shade across the map and try to see if it can get a little bit of damage done. Honestly though, for Creator, imagine if that first Marine drop was defended a little bit better. I think he would have ended up with substantially more army. He lost like 6 probes to that Marine drop, and then obviously he only warped in 2 Dark Templar when he, I think, meant to warp in 3 originally because he didn't have the gas for it, because he needed to pull the workers away too. That Marine drop, that very first attack from Cure, was not perfectly managed, and he paid the price for it a little later on. So that wasn't really a decisive win there for Cure. Even though the scoreboard is looking pretty solid, this could still certainly be anybody's series. So, now that it's the final game though, we go for apparently the most conventional style ever. Triple gateway for now. Triple gateway with Blinky boys. 1-1-1 inside of the main base. Command center on the low ground, of course. We'll probably see a third CC in a little bit. Oh. Free Adept. Very nice. You never look a gift Adept in your Gauss rifle, as my mom always says. Robo facility on the back of this. Siege tank production has begun, and this is that moment with Terran where you just bring whatever you have towards the other side of the map. In this instance, a single Widow Mine. Now, this looks a little pathetic as far as Terran drops go, but it's still useful just because this forces the Protoss to stay at home. And obviously you can't really have Blink done yet. So this is too early for Blink to be finished. Cure is of course well aware of the timing of those basic upgrades. And he's hoping that maybe he can hit his opponent in the face. Now this should never work. But this is of course also the Terran dream. Fun fact, Terran players dream of destroying mineral lines of Protoss with one Widow Mine. Like they just... That is the Terran dream right there. You just send in one medevac, one Widow Mine. Somehow you kill 27 workers. More workers than there were in a single base. It's incredible. Well, Cure may have been salivating at the thought, but... at the very least going to occupy some of those units. Okay, this is a very quick commitment here. Probius! Ooh, okay. He manually retargeted there. Of course, the distance here is tricky, right? So one of the problems you run into here as Protoss is that you're so busy microing these units on the other side of the map that it's difficult to defend against these mine drops. So it's very common on the lower end of the ladder for players to, or not even lower end, like low Grandmaster. Anybody below the pro level, it's very common that one Widow Mine can still deal a ton of damage. Protoss army is awkwardly positioned though. Okay, it does sneak into the main base. SCVs coming in from the side. These are not as dangerous as the militia in Warcraft 3, as I've learned over the last couple weeks. Mass repair, though, is still extremely useful. Okay, there's still a few stalkers inside of the prism, too. Can only fit in 4 in total. So I think he's just trying to keep as much damage here on the Terran as possible. But ultimately, 6 SCVs in a tank? Yeah. Don't love it. Do we have a recall available? Oh god, do we not have recall? No, we have plenty of energy. Oh no, what? No! Oh, Creator! Creator! What was that, bro? This is the duality of Protoss. Top tier Protoss players are extremely good at micro, but then they're also very good at not microing. It's an interesting thing. When you watch MaxSpecs play, it's all very clinical. Like, you never see MaxSpecs make a mistake like that. At least I haven't seen him do that in a very long time. Not that I recall, but my god. Protoss players are very good at playing with my emotions. Creator, actually a very emotional player in general. I have watched many, many games over the years, and it's very uncommon for pro gamers to literally be in tears. But I think I've seen Creator probably cry like 6 or 7 times. He gets pretty emotional. He's not happy about these sort of things. And it's important to put yourself besides that, right? Because you're gonna make mistakes. Unless, again, you're max specs, but this is painful, though. Now the Nexus goes down. Keep in mind, this is a third. It's not a fourth. This is a third base. 2 base versus 2 base is phenomenal, of course, for Terran. And even though this is going to be a cleanup here by the Protoss army, his economy is garbage. As a matter of fact, the Terran is now ahead. 2/3 of an entire command center are done. And this is now a substantial lead for Cure. Now, we already had a substantial lead for Cure earlier. And at the time, it was the beautiful Psionic Storm that managed to even the playing field a lot. This is a much less complex army, though, than what we saw in game number 1 of this series. So I'd be very surprised if Cure takes another big storm to the face. But you never know. +1. Stimpak is done. Combat shields on the back of this. I think Cure will probably try to hit the opponent in the face again. Next attack, though, there will be Charge and there will be Storm. Double expansion right now, by the way, for Creator. So Creator has decided that the only way in which he's ever gonna hold on is by losing 1 base, but then hopefully tricking his opponent into thinking he only made a single one. Like, there's about 0% chance that Cure is not going to attack. Maybe he will. Okay. There is an observer nearby. I think he should certainly go for a push. He probably believes, though, that Creator is now going to go into an all-in. Yeah, so he's actually not feeling the urgency. Creator, though, fully anticipating to cancel one of the bases that he made. I guess now he's just going to keep both of them up. It's risky, after just losing literally everything, to then spend 800 minerals on 2 bases. It's a lot of money. He's hoping that he can maybe intercept this Terran army as it's moving out, but if it's not moving out, I mean, I guess that also works for Protoss. Cooling tower is going to get destroyed. It's going to create a obstruction over here. Any time that can be bought is good. It is important, though, to not get any of your own zealots crushed. Okay, Zachary the Zealot. Come on, dude! You had 1 job. If you had 1 job or 1 opportunity, what if you had 2 jobs or 2 shots for 2 opportunities to seize everything you ever wanted? 1 moment or 2 moments, I guess. Would you do the same thing twice? Or would you, like, take a high risk the first time around because you know that you still have a second shot available? Anyways, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are... Okay, let's see. We want more of this exact same setup. I like this, by the way, from Cure. He's done this little cute setup against Zealot run-bys. If you're a Terran player, you should 100% be doing this. Couple Widow Mines over here. Couple Widow Mines over here. Bunker? Yeah, I don't mind it. Zealots are going to clump up together, and then the Widow Mines can big bada boom. All right. Creator has now been allowed. He's now been allowed to sit on this double Nexus of his for a while. Does he have any energy for Storm? Okay, he does have 3 High Templar inside of the private plane. Ooh, preemptive EMP right there. Anticipating that those High Templar were gonna drop to the ground. I like it. Kira's got some wiggle room here with 5 ghosts. This is a difficult fight, though, to take here for Cure. Now Colossi are going to hit the battlefield, too. And what was previously a significant advantage for Terran is now kind of slipping from his fingers. Extended thermal lens coming up. Colossi are being produced. And it's just another source of splash here for Creator. And the more sources of splash that Protoss gets in these ground versus ground battles, the harder it becomes for Terran. This is still very playable for Cure. It's just that this situation probably should have never happened in the first place. Like, it is way more comfortable to play just against Storm than it is to play against this highly sophisticated Protoss army that we're going to see in the next engagement. Council on the Nexus in the far bottom right. We should probably see a base over here instead. I like this positioning way better. Protoss players keep trying to take this one over here, but they don't have the watchtower, so like you never see these armies coming in. I guess Creator already got away with it once. I think though, in this particular game, he should have already been denied this. So the fact that he is like in this place at the, at all is kind of amazing. Disruptors are hitting the battlefield too, so we have Disruptor, High Templar, Archon, and then also Colossi. We have all sources of splash damage that Protoss has access to. You do need about 4 hands to micro this Protoss army, though. Curious decided that he doesn't want to fight the ground army at all. And much like in game number 1, we are going into a fusion core. A little bit later than at least game number 1, but we're once more making the switch towards the Liberators. I don't think this is a case where Creator is going to be able to do a Skytos transition. So as long as Cure, I mean, he's thinking about it though, he's already making a Stargate. Yeah, maybe. As long as Cure can get the Lib production going, I mean, yeah, he's actually making the switch. Creator going into the +1 air weapons too. Okay, fair enough. We're actually just setting ourselves up for another macro game. It's a very different way to getting there, but fishing for a good Nova does not quite get lucky. He's up all night to get Nova. To be fair, I know a lot of my viewers would be more than ready to get Nova in the face. Not, oh, no, I meant Purification Nova, not the... Anyways, range coming up for the Libs. Dark Templar, Shadow Strike coming up too. Dude, Creator is shopping like he's never gonna run out of cash. When you're playing this army though, you have to be extremely cautious. Good engagement here though. That Storm putting in a lot of work. Vikings though, shut down the Colossi, and this is exactly what the Vikings are so good at, right? They land on the ground and then continue dealing bonus damage to Mechanical. That looked like a pretty good fight for Protoss initially, but Cure microed it very nicely. At the same time, this is only half of his army. He's killed the Nexus over here in the top left. Loses a Medivac on his way out. Do we have Blink available? We do, so another Medivac goes down. Quite costly here for the Terran. Okay. Ooh, feedback. Storm. Very nicely done. Okay. Okay. What a series. This is actually an amazing match of StarCraft. This is just the best of 3, but it's got all of the variety that we love seeing. Full macro, full cheese, and now an active back and forth. Spectacular comebacks too, obviously. Oh, okay. Creator once more clutching this one, man. He's got a Stargate. He was ready to do a full Skytos transition, but he's now finding himself with like 24 Zealots. And he is trying to see if he can potentially obtain the victory right here, right now. Kira's got a lot of money in the bank, but much like in game number 1, not an easy opportunity to actually remax. This planetary, though, is putting in a ton of work. That planetary fortress, extremely useful. Still, though, another Colossus walks in. How much energy is there for more storms? Well, there's at least one more. Okay. That was the last one, though. Creator, he's got 2 High Templar in the mix. But I think they must have all been EMP'd or just use up their energy. Oh. Decided, by the way, to not continue fighting the planetary. Bunch of SCVs sleeping on the job over there. Creator is going to try his luck from the other side. This is buying Cure a lot of time, though, and he has now spent the majority of his cash. Vikings up in the air once more, working on the Colossi. Stalker should really be target firing down those Vikings. They're being chipped away at. Still, though, a lot of SCVs are falling. Picks up the weakened Colossus there inside of the Prism. Another Liberator falls. Keep in mind, they do have a range. More Marines making their way. A left turn from the main base's ramp. Dare left. Impressive defense here by Kyrdo. This is very sketchy for Creator now. The more Liberators there are, and he's producing 5 at a time. If he can get this wave of Liberators out, yeah, Creator is gonna go. I think Creator is tunnel visioned right now, and he is smelling blood. He's like a piranha, dude. He's the piranha Protoss. Oh god, well maybe it's the right thing. This is very risky. Here's the reinforcing Lib showing up, but they show up as the fight is ongoing. Bunch of Stalkers go around the site. Liberators are cleaning up all the leftover units inside of those circles. 2 more Libs show up from the main base. Stalkers, though, are now starting to chase down all of these Terran units. Depots to slow them down, fair enough. That's gonna buy a bit of time for a potential extra wave of bio inside of the main base, and also enough time here for the Liberators to prevent this Protoss army from moving up the main ramp. Still, though, Cure knows that he can't really give up on this low ground, so he has decided now that he is going to chase this down. Stalkers blink forward. Liberators get targeted down. Oh, new Terran units, though, popped out. Keep in mind, Creator is very committed here. He hasn't made an expansion in a very long time. Marines, Marauders, and Medifex, dude. Couple Libs in the mix. A landed Viking on the ground, too. I think Cure is just barely producing enough units here to hold. GG. Wow. What a series. Incredible. That was amazing.